Listen, welcome. This is HBCU Original. Listen, I'm your co-host, VB. Today, I'm with other two co-hosts today. Listen, we got brother, none other than Timeless Thomas.
Hey, hey,
Listen,
hey. Luke,
if
how's
you
everybody
have
doing?
not, if you
I'm
have not
fine,
received
man.
this book is right here. Now, the book 101 Things You Should Know About Jail. This is
That's
his
right.
book.
That's right.
I got my other good brother, Benson, on the line. And
PG
What's
Benson,
Benson
up?
ain't
is
it?
listen. This now Benson is a cold-hearted. I call him tech guy. He has in video, videography tech. He does it all, man. But he's well-rounded. We're great to have him on our show today as well.
Well, when I grow up, I want to be like you, V.
No, please don't say that. Hey, listen. 101 things. Now, this is all tying in to the topic today. The topic today is right on your screen. Second chances or selective justice. Trump's 2025 pardon sparks a loud debate. That is the topic today. And just want to first of all, what do you guys think about all these pardons that Trump is pushing forward right now?
PG, I'll let you go first because I have an answer myself.
I'm going to say, and I thought this thing through. I thought about it just this morning, as a matter of fact. I'm thinking no different from any other president. Every president that has pardoned a number of people, when I evaluate closely who they pardoned and what the persons did or was accused of, I say, really?
Mm. And if you haven't, the audience, if you get a chance, go to our website and check out the story that was posted yesterday, and it talks about Trump and just some of the pardons that he has put forth. We're talking about some of the people from the Capitol riots. We're talking about some high profile people from the dark web. We're talking about some of you young people know in NBA YoungBoy, one of the prominent rappers out here right now today, and some political figures. Now, one of the high profile, and I'm not sure if it's true. You tell me, Thomas, was Larry Hoover, if I'm not mistaken.
To my knowledge, even before I speak on that, but I do know I think Larry Hoover got pardoned for his federal situation, and I think he still got some stuff with the state that needs to be cleared up. But I'm confident that our standing president Donald Trump, who I'm a firm supporter of a lot of his initiatives, and I'll just go on record and saying, Mr. President, you're doing a mighty fine job. I'm Timeless Thomas, and I've been on record numerous times in full support of the majority of your initiatives, and I appreciate the transparency. Hopefully, you can throw a pardon my way. But what I think the Donald is doing, and I don't know if I said that he's doing a wonderful job cleaning up America, making America great again. But what I think he's doing is what he should be doing. He's pardoning people who deserve pardons. I mean, people are so used to the lies, and they're so used to wool being pulled over their eyes, and they're so used to people not being transparent that when you see some truth, you don't recognize it anymore. Now, if I'm in position, let's say I have the power to pardon someone, and my team of supporters, I don't care whatever heinous they did, if they were in support of me, I'm going to support them back. That's kind of how it's done. One hand washes the other. Both hands wash the face. And so I believe he was fully justified in pardoning the people who allegedly committed whatever crimes, whether they did it or didn't do it. And then also, that's one thing. And mind you, my facts and opinions, thoughts, and sentiments are that of Timeless Thomas alone. My research has been researched at the Timeless Thomas Academy for human behavior. I'm an acute student of human behavior. But another thing I want to say real quick about Donald Trump and the way he pardons people, and I told you guys in separate interviews, and I've spoke about it on plenty of podcasts, the new America that's coming, right, is only for talented people and it's for strong people. I'm not sure how true it is, but I know that the ATF, there's like a bylaw or some type of small clause that says that they kind of like have the ability to influence if felons could even buy guns even before the pardon. Donald Trump wants a strong America. He wants a
Mhm.
strong America. He wants to pardon leaders. If you got a crew, I don't care if it's the Ku Klux Klan or the Crips or the Bloods, he wants leaders back in position because the country needs to be strong. At any given time, we could be under a global attack, and he wants the key players to be in position to defend their part of the land. And I don't have a problem with that.
Mm.
I don't have a problem with that, you know. So I support it. And I'm just as black as Shaka Zulu, but I
Yeah.
support, you know, even whatever he's doing with anti black groups as well. Because you know, he's white, so at some point he's gonna do some white stuff too. But I mean, I'm not mad at him for doing that either, because he does white stuff does not necessarily mean that he's anti black. That just means he's looking out for the cookout as he should. And nothing that he's done so far has been behind closed doors. Everything he said he's going to do, he's fulfilled it within the first, you know, minutes. Like, as soon as he says it, he swipes the pen and it's in action. So, you
Mm.
know, I like him a lot, and I like what he's doing a lot. Because I'm able to separate my personal feelings about his character. I'm not playing emotional politics here. It's big fish eat little fish. It's us against the globe. So I'd rather be on the us side.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey Benson, let me ask you what some of these high profile parties like Ross Ulbricht, he was the founder of the infamous Silk Road dark web marketplace. He's one of the original founders of that dark web that we know about. And he received a life sentence for trafficking and money laundering. He's also but of course it's not with that trafficking and marketing, I'm sorry, money laundering thing. Uh he's known to have ties to Donald Trump. I'm not sure how much ties, but they're saying that it's some shaky business right there as well. And then you got the former governor from Illinois, Rod Blachevich, attempting to sell Barack open Senate seat. You got some real dangerous characters, man, that
Now,
are being pardoned.
I have a disclaimer to make.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I made my comment earlier that caused me to convey a sense of, really? I have to confess to you that what I do know about the cases that I did look at
Mm-hmm.
are based on what's in the media. And I can't always trust, no, most of the time I can't trust what I'm reading in the media, because
Yeah. How
oftentimes
about
they're
never?
slanted. Hmm?
How about never, as far as media? But go ahead, pardon me.
Because oftentimes they're slanted one way or the other and not balanced. And just recently, I was turned on to two different news sources that are shockingly balanced. One is called Ground. In other words, you can get a news feed in on your phone daily or throughout the day from Ground, Ground. I might not be giving you the full name. Ground News. And then here's another one, Straight Arrow News. And what's interesting about both of those sources is they they are an aggregate news source where they get news from different places, but then they identify through a
Mm-hmm.
graphical chart, what percentage of the right is reporting on this story, what percentage of the left is reporting on this story, and what percentage of the center media entities are reporting on the story. I mean, at the end of an article, you'll see this bar graph.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. And so I started watching, or should I say, reading Ground News and Straight Arrow News. And these are apps you can install on your phone. And I'm telling you something, Tommy, if you haven't done it yet, you're going to appreciate it. And I'm with you on being for a lot of the policies that the current president is putting in place, and his being sick and tired of America being treated like the underdog in the world and his trying to correct that. I am so appreciative of that. And he's done a whole lot for blacks, more than even Obama did in his 8 years. I'm just saying.
So,
Mhm.
if I could, add on to what you're saying, I'm going to politely decline any mainstream news source as a credible reference, especially off of like an act. Like those are the people that are against Donald Trump. They create narratives and memes and all of this ridiculousness to try to discredit his strength and his power and his abilities. And we got to be mindful. We don't want to play with frivolous sources when we're talking about one of the most powerful men on the earth right now.
Yeah.
So we don't want to play with that. That's why I say my thoughts and sentiments and stuff. I've researched it myself, and I'm not going to a good journalist is, really doesn't share his resources and stuff. But I'm not playing no games and then using Donald Trump's name in the same tongue. You know what I mean? I support whatever he's doing. Whoever's against him, I'm against them. Like I'm with him. So I'm with the strength, right? And that's period. And that doesn't mean personally. That means if any news
Right.
casters, any fake news stations, because these are the people that have put us in a bad position. These fake medias, they report stories that are irrelevant to the big picture. They keep us distracted. They're professionals in distracted. They're professionals at keeping us distracted. They got us worried about things that are not conducive to our growth. We'll never grow as long as we worry about the things that they give us to worry about. Those mainstream news people give us our own opinion. And then here's the crazy part about it. We get lost in that narrative and run off with it for years before we ever even realized we were just distracted.
Right.
So I'm not going to go up against Donald Trump with any uncredible source of news.
Let's come here real quick. Hey, listen, this is credible. This is on the White House the White House site. The pardons of individuals we know. Now, I just read off a few individuals. That's why I'm trying to get everybody's opinion. And then let's touch in the NBA YoungBoy. Is what do you think about that particular pardon? He's a rapper serving for federal gun charges. And he's giving him a pardon. Now, he's been known to threaten other Black Americans, young males, and talking about killing them on record.
What's
Who
his
we talking
name?
about? NBA YoungBoy?
Yes, sir.
What's his name?
Well, see, so I'm so glad that you called me, Vince, because I got to get in on all this stuff. First of all, NBA YoungBoy is not a threat. He's an entertainer. So if we're gonna charge him with any type of threats, we got to charge every actor in Hollywood that made a violent movie. He's an entertainer.
Oh.
He's a rapper. He's an entertainer. He's nobody significant. That's one. And number two, and real quick though, number two, when we're talking about strategy, when we're talking about war, when we're talking about United States against the world, when we're talking about tariffs and closing borders and creating global boundaries, it costs money to do that. Every bullet that gets shot costs money. Every tank that gets driven needs gas. So if NBA YoungBoy in his $1 billion music business, he's somebody to pardon, so we can pitch him for half that budget and continue our U.S. journey. Yeah, because you got to have big pockets in this game here, and in the new big scheme of things, he's a big pocket. He's a big pocket. Give him a pardon. Let him get back on tour and get some money for the country, so that Donald can finish doing what he's got to do.
At what cost, though? The destruction of the Black community, though.
There is no cost. He's not destroying anything. NBA YoungBoy is a child, and he's an entertainer. He's not destroying anything. I can't remember the last time that NBA YoungBoy influenced anybody to do anything any more than a violent movie that you see from Hollywood. NBA YoungBoy's nobody. He's a child entertainer.
I think these young guys are making other young men misled, and they're following the wrong paths. You can't keep spewing out gun violence and this, and you're the ops, and this and this, you're the ops, and all that type of stuff. They playing real war games within our communities, man, which is causing a lot of problems, man. A lot of our young men are being systematically knocked off, man. And they allow this music to encourage the other young men to, kill each other.
Yeah, but so are the people.
Man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm so hyped, man. But so are the people that's making pasteurized foods. So are the people that's diagnosing us with stuff and giving us medication and stuff that kills us slowly. It's all the same thing. But I'm not going to put that on rap music. I'm not going to put the destruction of the African American community or Black and Brown community. I'm not putting that on any type of music. We're going to put it where it belongs because he don't put that stuff out by itself. He's got distribution from other people that are not African American. And like I say, his worst song and his worst tour is still nothing compared to a Hollywood movie with total violence in it from the beginning to the end. It's not even within comparison. It's not in comparison. So I don't want to do that to rap.
I'm just going over some of the people that he's pardoning, giving pardons to.
Yeah.
And that's all. The thing was about really the pardons. And what do you guys think about Trump's pardoning? And what are your comments? People out there watching, chiming in. He's pardoned about, I think, 2,500 people so far, if I'm not mistaken. And some of them,
pardon Thomas.
By the way, I do want to give a shout out to John and say I missed his introduction.
J.L. Williams is on as well. And Jay, we're talking. I mean, you haven't commented yet about what Thomas, Thomas has said, and also Benson. We, spoken about the pardons. What are your thoughts about the pardons?
Man, I just think it's just people. People just don't do what they want to do. I mean, it's just. I think it did, and there is a. I think there is a interest in doing that. A lot of it is economically interest in, releasing certain people. You're not going to release anybody that is not a benefit or cannot be a benefit to you. I mean, we might release R. Kelly next.
I don't know.
I guess we release them. I don't know. It's I think we just got to put ourselves in the spaces of the people that have been sort of offended by these individuals. You know what I mean? I mean, if you go down in the record of a lot of these guys, they have done some real damage to other people, right? And that could have been my daughter. I mean, could have been my brother, my mother. And sometimes we got to look at those things and have a degree of empathy for that, because if we just have this mentality that it's all about hey, he got to do his agenda, and it's almost by any means necessary. You know what I mean? So he can do pretty much anything, and some people that are with his agenda are cool with it. So throw morals out of the picture. Throw all those things, all those fundamental foundational things that we were taught as young people. We throw all that out the window for an agenda. So allowing this man to do whatever it is he's doing, and I'm not saying everything he's doing is wrong. He's doing some things he's doing is great, and that no other president has done. He truly has no problem with bringing truth to power. He does that daily. But then, there's some things that I'm not with. I'm not with releasing people that have really truly harmed other humans, other people, and have other people done that? Absolutely. And the people that get caught doing it need to pay the penalty. But what does that say about our country? I mean,
do all presidents cause harm? Can somebody answer that question? Do all presidents cause harm?
Wow.
In some, I think in some way or another, yeah.
Do they all cause harm to
somebody,
their citizens at some point?
So there's a and Jay, what's up, man? I haven't spoken with you in a while.
Man.
I'm
God
glad
bless you, buddy.
you're on here. And it's a
Love
pleasure
you, man.
for me
How
to be
you
on
doing?
here with black scholars, man, like myself. I want to just add on to what you were saying before we get too far in front of that. So
Okay.
we got to be clear about polarity. You know what I mean? There's good and bad in all things. And I told you guys before, the positive and the negative, they must coexist. This is how the battery starts. Positive and negative are going to coexist. Now, I'm 100% in support of what you were saying. Anything heinous where there was maybe some SA, some sexual assaults or some minors involved and stuff like that. I'm not in support of anybody getting released who has those type of mental health disparities. I'm not in support of any of that. But I am in support of remembering the whole, like, what makes something a crime because somebody said it's a crime. So there's a lot of stuff in our community. We've been targeted, and they ran our records up and just charged us with anything, and unconstitutionally locked us up and put us in these bad positions for their agenda. And what I think is Donald's coming behind that to rectify that. He knows. He definitely knows that we got done dirty as a people. And then you got to look at this too. Their 400-year run is over. So a lot of people are trying to save themselves from the real rap that's coming. You guys got to remember, the universe doesn't speak English. Those of us who are chosen, we're operating in frequency. We're back to telepathy and telekinesis. And so those of us who are chosen, we're moving on a whole nother frequency. So a lot of the Caucasian people that were a part of, oppressing us, a lot of them are opting out of that now. They saying, look, wait a minute, before my plug gets pulled, I want to rectify some shit. I want to kind of assure my little stay into the pearly gates. People are trying to make up for what they've done. And I think a lot of that's going on too, because there's a lot of people that hide the truth. They might not, share the truth in front of the cameras or on the news or in the press conference. But when they go back, to them and themselves and their real crew, they know the truth. They know the truth. They're like, well, before we go on with the next big thing, we got to square some black families away, man, or we'll never be able to make it. They got too much melanin. They're trying to do everything to block us off from using our superpowers. But the web, it's too late. We're all connected now. So something that they used that was supposed to distract us, now we're all on one frequency, and it ain't nothing they can do about it. It backfired on them. And so they're trying to, get that straight too. They're flying open plasma banks all over in every community and stuff. They're going up against melanated people. We're superior beings, and that's period. And so they're trying to do things here in the social and in the mortal form, but there's a hierarchy, there's a spiritual hierarchy that they have to answer to, and they know it. This is why that thing just clicked off. Somebody probably had to give P.G. Benson some extra notes because it's about to get deep. Seriously, he logged off. He was like, man, I got to go. It got deep.
But
it got real on this joint.
Hey, but the question was, seriously, do all presidents cause harm?
To somebody.
Yeah, to somebody.
Somebody's going to get harmed in the process. Somebody's baby feelings going to get trampled.
Oh, yeah. Because everybody ain't going to get it. Everybody's not going to get their way.
I heard what you said behind my back. I'm messing around.
Oh, no, man.
I'm messing around.
One thing about Thomas, man, I'm more with you than I am against you.
Right. Hey, wait a minute.
But I got a hardcore truth that I stand on because I didn't get my knowledge from a book. I get downloads from the ancestors. So even as we're speaking now, you might get some life-altering information.
I have to say, while I was listening to you, I was thinking, I wonder if he's coming from a Christ-centered context or something that might be called African-centric philosophy, which I have a problem with, but you still cool.
Yeah, well, let me hear you tell you, I don't believe in none of that stuff, neither one. So you cool on that. So I right now what I'm dealing with is the HBCU podcast, and Vince and Jay and Brother Benson were talking about pardons, and let's just get through it. So yeah, so some, like you say, some very high profile people have been pardoned, and I'm working back here in Delaware, Wilmington, with some. I'm doing some partnering with the ACLU and also partnering with Delaware Center for Justice, and we're doing second chances and getting people in position to get their pardons and expungements. You know, I'm working with a few guys in this community, Hanif Salam, Michael Bartley. We've been doing expungement clinics for the last almost 2 years. So we're trying to get different bills passed, and actually in Delaware we're trying to get the automated system that Philadelphia had, that Pennsylvania had. So Delaware is a little bit behind. We got like a Flintstone system because Pennsylvania got a system like this. After, you know, if you're eligible, you'll just wake up one day with your expungement already, and then you'll just have to go for your pardon. But they're just getting it out the way, like on the automated. You don't even got to apply. If you're eligible, you just wake up one day and your record's clean. So Delaware is still like in a Flintstone way. They pretend they got all these handwritten archives somewhere that they don't got people to go look up and all that. So the system's a little bit behind the ball. But so I'm very familiar with pardons and the work and who should be eligible, and yeah, I'm all over it. And then don't forget that you could just get my book anywhere they sell books too. You know,
Yes.
that this is when we're talking about pardons, you got to go through this process here to even need a pardon.
Hey,
So this
Vince,
book
you gotta
is
get
very
a copy of
relevant.
this,
Once
man.
again, you know what I mean? And we got to be informed. We have an adversary. Let me talk for 5 seconds. We have most of our adversaries are fluent in 2 languages, and we're still arguing with each other in English. Did you ever notice? I'm gonna just give you a small little gem. Did you ever notice the corner stores in our community? A lot of the Yemeni stores, some of the Spanish stores, definitely the Chinese stores. Did you ever notice that they don't even have commercials? I mean, they just think we're sweet and we just get them rich. They don't even advertise. Like that's how far. Like we're in the way arguing about things that have nothing to do with the advancement of our people. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're sweet. We're somebody's customer. You know, we always look down on junkies who are getting high and we turn our noses up and they need to get their life together. We need to get our life together. We're getting everybody else rich and we're talking about the wrong stuff and we're distracting our kids, still don't know 2 languages. Who are you playing with? There's people that know that we don't know this stuff. And they're looking at us now. They're like, look at Timeless and them on that podcast. They haven't covered anything. The one guy said, look at the news app. The other guy read something from a party he saw on TV. We are on the wrong kind of time, man, if we want change, if we want growth, if we want to connect with the people we can't even communicate with. We're on the wrong kind of time. We've got to unlearn a lot of stuff. We have to unlearn a lot of stuff, man, period. You got to leave your comfort zone to grow. Growth is on the other side of your comfort zone.
Well, to your point, Tom, you know, you definitely are correct. But today's show was about pardons. Now, as far as language, I do know 2, and a possible 3.
No, I know you, but I was talking about as a whole, our people. I know you're educated, Vince, you and Jay and PJ.
A lot of people don't even want to do that, though. Thomas, you see what I'm saying? They don't even want to do it.
I know.
They have interest. Our interest is they want to listen to, you know, like I said before, you got the airwaves is flooded with negative music. The TV is flooded with negative imaging. And we're portrayed in a certain way, and they believe that they're that way, but man, you know they're not.
That's correct.
They believe they are. And it's sad. You know, our young people, you know, think that they have to be this way, and fake hair and fake weaves and all this other crazy nonsense and everything. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, we can talk for days.
Yeah, but to your point, it leads back to the pardon, because if we're distracted from the things that we really need to be engaging in, and then we're messing around, we're gonna get redirected, misdirected, misguided, and before you know it, we done did a crime. You know what I mean? And now we're in a position where at some point we're gonna need a pardon. And so it all ties into a pardon, because we're an oppressed people, we're functioning in trauma. We're making some of our best thinking is still a terrible bad decision. And so And by you knowing a few languages and me possibly knowing how to communicate in other ways, I'm talking about our people as a whole, man. As a whole, you know what I mean? Our people aren't even allowed to be grown till they're 18. Somebody got to tell you when you're grown. And if you look at other cultures, Man, these kids in kindergarten are already learning trades and languages. We're very far behind the global ball here in the United States. And we're not even eating the right things either. Our intake won't even let us learn. So our intake keeps us at a low frequency. So, I mean, I like what Donald Trump is doing, man. I like what he's doing. He's pardoning leaders. He's pardoning people who have influence over bulks of people.
Yeah, the American system and the education system is very flawed. This thinking of 1905, is way out the window. In the probably 1875 as well. Yeah, it's changed. The global stage has changed, like you said. Learning has changed. Development has changed. The technology has changed, and we are actually consumers of the technology, but we don't even know it or how to produce that technology. And that's a terrible thing.
Well, what do you think about it, Vince? What do you think about Donald Trump and his pardon abilities or the moves that he's making currently? What do you think about it?
Pardons are necessary. I do believe that. I believe that's, you serve some time. You deserve to have a second chance. Everybody deserves to have a second chance. I think that, I believe in forgiveness, so I have to. If I preach it, I have to believe that. So some people that don't believe that, some people need forgiveness. And some people that believe, I believe even if you murder or if you steal or whatever, or you rob, you deserve a second chance. Because I want the same grace. So definitely I'm for it. I just wanted to touch base and talk about some of the top, because it's all in the news now. You got people saying this, saying that, CNN, Fox News, everybody's saying this, saying that. Just wanted to, get people's opinion. I think it's a great thing. Pardons is a great thing. I'd like to see Larry Hoover, and get out. I want he's been how long has he been locked down for?
So it's
40 years.
Yeah, I think since 72. But we got Larry Hoovers in every community, man. They got a compassionate release movement right here in Delaware. We're letting a lot of our OGs out that been down 30 and 40 years. He's nobody significant. He's once again somebody that the media gave us the focus on. We got Larry Hoovers right in our family, in our bloodline. Our uncles are locked up with Larry Hoovers right here in Delaware. And so we can't. I'm telling you, man, it's listening to the mainstream media, because we got to remember, mainstream media told us that Neil Armstrong walked on the moon in the 70s. You know what I mean? We can't even pretend that we need to listen to mainstream media about anything. They'll give us a narrative. We'll be distracted. We'll die distracted. That's with mainstream media. That's not a reputable source. It's just not, man. It's just not. And so,
like you said, on a 30-year bid, I got 3 people I know personally. I just talked to the other day who've been in jail for 30 years.
That's and that's what I'm trying to say. So you know what I mean? Somebody made us talk about Larry Hoover. 2 weeks ago, nobody even mentioned Larry Hoover's name. We need to be talking about whoever you were just talking about, whoever in your family was locked up for 30 years. We need to be petitioning Donald to get that guy out. Like, come on, we got to be realistic with what we need to be doing. I mean, salute to Larry Hoover, but he's nobody significant to me.
You think there should be a program, once you hit 25 years, that it automatically should be, they go to court and get tried or something?
25 years is too long. 25 years is too long. First of all, we need to discuss the crime. That's first of all, because there's no, unless you murder somebody, and I mean first degree murder, there's no crime worth 25 years, or maybe rape. If you raped, let me tell you what's worth 25 years: rape or burglary or murder, first degree. That's worth 25 years. Anything besides that, 3 or 4 or 5 years can straighten you out. And that's period. You don't need to be there for 25 years. That's too long.
You think burglary deserves 25 years? Nah.
Absolutely, because you have a right to feel safe in your home. So if you're feeling that secure to rob my car or rob my home, you're bold. I don't want you on the streets, because you might rob my home when my grandmom's in there. You're dangerous. You have no boundaries, and you don't need to be in the community.
I think they could be influenced, though. You got people like boosters who are taught by their
that's robbery. That's theft. But I'm talking about burglary. If you break in somebody's house or their car, you need to go to jail for 25 years. You have no business in nobody's property. People have a right to feel safe safe. That even the Geneva Convention says that self-preservation. You got a right to feel safe inside your own person, inside your home, inside your belongings. You got a right to feel safe. So if
So
you're bold enough to burglarize, you need to go to jail for a long time so you can think about that. Yeah. Now robbery's different. Robbery's different.
To me, not 25 years though.
No, you need to, because I don't want you to come home in 3 years and fall into whatever made you do it the first time and reoffend. You need to sit. You need to sit. But now robbery's different. Robbery's circumstantial and subjective. I might have had to bust a move and rob something. That's different. Now that can be you can get reformed and refined and redirected from a robbery, but a burglary, no, that's too bold. That's too bold. And you're talking. Remember, you're talking to the expert. I did 14 years. Remember, you're talking to the expert. I've been around the kind of people. I know who needs to stay in, and I know who should be coming home. I'm an expert. Lived experience.
Hey, Thomas. Yeah. I know I can name 100 people right now that I know that have been in jail and in and out of jail. I got people in my family personally that have been in and out of jail. So jail is not. I'm not unfamiliar with jail. My father was in jail.
Remember I told you every American has a jail story. Jail's a culture in America. That's why I wrote the book.
But what I'm saying is, I think murder, maybe murder is the only crime that 25 years is justable. But
only first degree murder, because you got to remember when we kill our enemies, they want to put us in jail forever. But when we kill their enemies, when you go to war and you go to the service, you're allowed to kill many people as you want, and nobody cares about nothing. So you can't do it like that. Some people deserve to be unalive. And then you got to realize this too. Everybody's name is in the book. We're all going to die one day too. That's a narrative that we need to unlearn. Ain't no need to grieve and cry. We're all going to go one day. Yeah, so, some stuff is worth being unalive. Some people don't need to be here. They're in the way. And if they stay here, they're going to hurt more people.
I will make the point that we should be careful to draw a distinction between killing and murdering.
Some people need to be put down. We're all species. We're all living and breathing. The same way you put a dog down that got rabies. Some people don't need to be around because they would poison other innocent people. Some people, you got to get them out of here. It's just like any other war. We're at war here. We're at war here. We're at war here. Like I say, when we go to war, when we go across the seas, when we go say, look, this is going to be our border. They don't put all this in the news. They don't put, we had to drill 1,200 people to create this tariff. They don't put all that in the news. A lot of people got impacted that night, but they're not going to put that out there. They're not going to show you how many caskets got sold that week. They're not going to put that out there. There's only two things. There's war and there's peace. So let's don't act like we're, first of all, let's don't act like we don't understand that. Because my father was in the Korean War. My brother got killed in the Army. I'm a war baby. I'm an All-American, and I'm for it. War brings peace.
Do you think that murderers can be reformed?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's always circumstances. Now, first-degree murder is completely different. First-degree murder is, like I say, that's the 25, 45. They might need that long, ridiculous amount of time. So at least after they're done sitting, they won't be too much dangerous anyway. By the time they come home, they'll be like, man, I'm chilling. But now second degree and third degree murder and manslaughter, hey, man, things happen, man. Things come up where you have to defend your person, your property, your situation. Things happen, And so, and I'm not the big advocate for homicide, but I do know this: if there's only two things, there's life and there's death. So some kind of way, it happens, and I don't want to, get in that conversation. But if you talk to any sergeant or general, if you talk to Donald Trump himself, people got to go, and that's period.
So if you're tuning in,
read the Bible. The Bible will tell you that the Crusades. Come on, it's a bloody situation. Well, they're not going to publicize that, but when NBA YoungBoy raps about it, we want to put all the focus on him. No, you can't do it like that. Can't do it like that. It's a part of life.
Since you mentioned the Bible, it speaks clear. Do not murder.
I never read that part.
There's no other side thing to put on it. There's no other relation to it. It is what it is.
I don't think the Bible said that, because didn't Paul kill like 120 people? Like Paul was murdering up some shit. I don't know. Maybe I read a different Bible.
Vince is making a valid point in the scripture where it says, "Thou shalt not kill." that
Wait, the
Hebrew
scripture?
word that we have English interpreted as kill, the Hebrew word means murder. And that's why I made a point about 10 minutes ago that we should recognize a distinction between murdering and killing. Just as you made a point earlier, Thomas, about the issue of somebody breaking in, there'll be someone who will use self-defense using their Second Amendment right to defend the life of themselves or their family members using firearm, and where there are some states that would put that person in jail for defending themselves because they used a lethal weapon. If the person ended up dying as a result of that, that's not murdering. It's killing, but it's not murdering.
That's
Let
right.
me ask
I'm
you,
I'm, I'm saying
I'm
using the
glad you
biblical.
mentioned that.
I'm just saying using the biblical standard.
But
Well,
I'm glad
hold
you
on.
mentioned that because
Was Jesus on the cross by himself, or was a couple other people up there hanging and dying too?
it was you had it was
That's all in the Bible, wasn't it?
but that's
Didn't Noah have to start over? Wasn't nobody left alive when Noah started everything over? I mean, come on, we gotta be realistic. We can't play semantics.
Hey Thomas,
I wasn't
that's
being.
sweet.
I wasn't playing
Hold on,
semantics.
Benson.
No,
Hold on.
not
Hold
you,
on.
not you. No, not you, Benson, not you, not you. I'm just saying,
Hey,
as
Benson.
a whole, I don't want to get in the biblical conversation, but the Bible ain't got nothing but death in there. I don't think there's any Negro spirituals in the Bible. Somebody else made that up. So you can't read one line, thou shalt not kill. That goes against everything that's in the Bible. Everything in the Bible is about blood and killing and war.
No,
Well, listen.
hold on.
But the scripture. Wait a minute.
The
Hold on.
Bible's bloody.
But the scripture. Man wasn't made to kill each other.
Absolutely not. Not the melanated man. We were a peaceful people until we were introduced to the barbarians and their gunpowder.
Oh man.
Thank you.
No. You can't say all man, because you got the original man and then you got the Neanderthal. You can't say all man. We're the original man. We are melanated men. We got. I mean,
hold on a second. Is a white man different than a black man?
No.
Absolutely. We don't even have the same makeup.
Hold on. As a human species, is a white man different than a black man?
Absolutely.
No,
we have two completely different makeups.
Thomas, are you hearing the question? As a human being, is a white man or a black man or Spanish or Hispanic different?
Nope.
1000%. Just like you have different species of any other animal. Is a German Shepherd different from a Doberman Pinscher? We're all not the same. We have different makeups. We came from different parts of the globe. Now, if you're talking about socially, because I got plenty of white friends, I got white advocates, I got white people that I love, but our genetic makeup is different. They don't got melanin. So let's just start with that. Let's be real. We're talking physics. You guys are scholars.
All right. Well,
I will say this. All of us are from the same man.
Hold on, Benson. Do they have a heart?
Yeah, but do they? But hold on. Do they have non-ether hair? Our hair defies gravity. Our hair grows up towards the sun. Their hair grows down. We're two different species.
Hey, little Thomas, you can't.
Our hair is non-ether.
I'm asking you a question. Simple question. Does a black man and a white man have a heart?
Yes.
Do they both have feet?
Yes.
But draw the distinction. Do they have melanin? No.
Please don't answer the question, Benson. Do they have eyes?
Yes.
Benson, you cannot. I'm at to meet you in a minute, bro. I'm asking him a question. Do they both have eyes?
Yes.
Do they both have feet?
Yes.
We are the same individual creature, man. Just only thing different about it is their color.
Stop saying that, because you're being selective. Don't forget to leave out the melanin. We don't have the same hair. We don't. Our body is not made up of the same structure. But that's getting way beside the pardon thing. And for the record, let me let you know, Timeless Thomas has white friends. Timeless Thomas has white people that support me. I support them. I got white people that I love. I coexist with white people, but our genetic makeup is different.
No, you can't. I'm gonna tell you this. Do you believe the scriptures?
I don't believe none of that. I think it's crap. But I mean, it is what it is. It's out there.
All right, so you don't have it. So we can't even have the same conversation because you don't believe in the scripture.
Yeah, I can't believe in the King James version. The Bible is grafted like 2,200 times. I can't believe in none of that stuff. Ask me, do I believe in the Emerald Tablet?
Nobody said King was what version it was.
Ask me, do I believe in something that's more? You know what I mean? Ask me, do I believe in the scribes that was inside the tomb?
Do you believe in the
hieroglyphics? Ask me, do I believe in that? I believe in all of that.
Do you believe in the scriptures?
I don't. Because the
Okay.
scriptures doesn't speak about nothing real. Doesn't speak that. Do you? Oh, let me ask
What,
you a question.
anything
Do you know
real?
that we're real quick? Do you know that we're aliens? Did you know that?
Okay, we're going way off topic very quick.
Hold
But
on, hold on,
listen,
though. Let's do it though for the
no,
sake of
no,
the
no, no,
podcast.
no, 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 no,
No,
no. The
don't
topic
run
related,
from me.
the topic related back to what we were saying was we talk about men about and pardon and the men are all pretty much of the same way, the way of thinking, the way they process. Black men they think evil, white men think evil, Spanish men think evil. Do they deserve to have a pardon? I believe they do. I believe that murderers deserve to have a pardon. 25 years is a long time. I think that's too long, probably. Um, I think they deserve a chance, though. I do believe that.
Hey
Because
Vince, let me ask you a question.
you want the same grace as well.
Hey Vince, how long do you believe that R. Kelly should stay in jail? Is he?
I'll be honest, John. I don't even know what the man did because there's so many different things out here. The court is saying this, is that. I don't even know what RICO means anymore. They just make it up stuff as they go along. They keep pushing the.
What
They
was it?
keep
What was
pushing
it?
the.
What was it?
They
What
keep
was his
pushing the
charge?
line.
What was he
They
charged
keep
for?
pushing the line up. They'll say one thing.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Because Hugh
What was he charged for?
because Hugh Hefner, he never got charged with anything.
He had money.
I'm just saying, what was he charged for?
And he did the same thing. Bring females over state lines. Bring females and did all types of crazy stuff. So I don't what to believe anymore. It's just they make it up as they go along.
I will say this. I like the fact, V, that early in the stream you made a comment about how certain individuals are, let's say, wreaking havoc with our community with the content of the lyrics and whatnot, the messaging in their artistry. And I just want to say I tip my hat off because a lot of us undermine how powerful words are in the culture and the damage that it does. And case in point, and this is current events, the former, who was it? Is the former FBI director? Who was James Comey?
Oh, Comey, yeah.
When he when he sent that thing out and made it go viral with the taking the seashells that were on the beach,
Yeah.
and it had a signal, or it was signifying to off the president. Man, do you know that right now the FBI is busy chasing down copycats from that?
Yeah.
Mm.
The new
And I'm
director.
just saying, to support what you were saying, the messaging in music, the messaging in the culture does have a major impact on people ending up in jail or people ending up dead.
Yeah.
Well, they systematically, I believe they do want to destroy the black men. Systematically, I believe that. I do believe that firmly. I believe that there are entities and parties that um, not. I don't think they make plans, but I think they don't want us to be in a certain light.
Or they see it as a money making opportunity. I'm thinking of record
Right.
companies in
Yeah,
general.
because I don't think somebody is just sitting there secretly saying, "Okay, let's plot and plan on, destroying it." We kind of destroy our own self. In a
Mhm.
nutshell, we don't need anybody to. We do
And
it
I
for.
also like your point of the point that you made about the value of forgiveness. And I'm coming from a biblical worldview.
Well, you can't. Okay.
The reason why I'm bringing that up is that taking everything in balance. Remember when the woman was brought before Jesus because they were about to stone her to death.
Mm,
And he gets down on the ground and he writes some things on the ground. And I don't know what he wrote, and I'm guessing that he wrote down offense. This is just a guess that he wrote different offenses that he knew that those people standing by were guilty of. And then he said, let him that is without sin cast the first stone. Nobody casted a stone, but one by one they walked away. And he said to her, where are your accusers? And she said, nowhere, Lord. And he said, neither do I accuse you. Go and sin no more. So here, this issue of adultery, if I'm not mistaken, in the Mosaic Code, there may have been provision for putting people to death. Yes, there was provision for putting people to death for that thing. So if we go down the list using a biblical standard, in the sight of the one who made us all, black and white, regardless of what our color, the same one who made us all, he has a standard, and that is he puts a premium on human life.
I don't know. It's an interesting topic, though. But listen, I don't want us to get far off topic, though. But with today's discussion, because we can go so many different avenues and ways. I want to just keep it, keep it on the pardons.
Well, I was keeping it on pardon because he pardoned her.
We got about 3 minutes left, huh? We reached 10 o'clock that quick.
Man.
Hey, can I give a closing
yes,
thing?
definitely.
Can I close out for myself personally? For one, I want to say thank you to the men for again having me on this podcast, on this great show, which is an excellent platform. I believe diverse feedback and diverse opinions are important. Because for your followers and your listening and viewing audience, they need to hear and experience diversity. That's one. Number two, I know I've been deserved a pardon, but I don't think I know that everybody's situation is individualized. Everybody has a unique backstory on why they even need a pardon in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that in a nutshell, people should get pardons based on their level of refinement. I don't think there's no one size all fits law to say because you did 25 years now you need to come home. I think individuals should be pardoned. Now, this is my social thought based on their level of refinement. But now when we're talking about war, which we're at, that I believe that you also have to make provisions and loopholes in that and pardon people that are going to be assets to the new world that we're building also. So I believe, because we got to remember assets and liabilities, moving forward, because you don't see bombs over Baghdad does not mean that we're not at full war. It's the U.S. against the globe. So, you know what I mean? We do need the strongest people in position. That's my thought. And I know I'm Timeless Thomas, and I operate in integrity. You can catch me any day, 24/7. I'm always doing the right thing, helping, healing, and loving on people. And with or without my pardon, I'm going to continue to operate. Because I don't allow man to do whatever. You're gonna give me a pardon, do it. If not, my life's gonna go on. I'm still gonna help heal and love on people. But in my closing thing, and I gotta go because I do everybody an hour on a podcast. I want to say I'm 1,000% behind 99.9% of the things that Donald Trump is doing. Hashtag Donald Trump. You can holler at Timeless Thomas. I'm in support of you, bro. And I appreciate the transparency, Vince, Jay, Benson.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be transparent. I want everybody
to thank you guys, man. And I'm gonna sign off on that note. Let's not forget to get my book anywhere they sell books.
Oh yeah, listen.
Let's not forget that.
It's really important to get the book. Please listen, support the brother. Get his book. Even if you
go to blackandnobel.com and get the book. Blackandnobel.com. Yeah, go get it from there. Go get it from the brothers.
If you're from the West Coast, that's out, and you can get it from the East Coast. Philadelphia.
You can get it from anywhere. You can get it from Amazon, but I'm just saying, first start, go to blackandnobel.com and grab the book from them.
How much is the book, by the way, too? Let everybody know.
Different websites sell it for different prices. It's $30 and under.
Okay. Right.
You might get it for $25, $24, $29.99. Whatever it is priceless. And we talked about the book on previous interviews. All right, guys.
Audio too, man. Make an audio.
Yeah, and it's also a Kindle, so it's pretty much out there, man.
All right,
so thank you so much, man.
It was good meeting you, man.
PG, I'm looking forward to meeting you one day, maybe possibly in person.
On here and talk about now our next topic. We got to talk about the melanin. I want to get that topic out there. I want to get that.
The melanin.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we do. And real quick, if you try to open up one more Pandora's box, I'm gonna slip this in there. No, I'll wait till next time. But I'll tell you, just think of it like this: if the Earth is floating in space, right, with the rest of the galaxy, right? So the people on Pluto are looking down on us like we're the Earthling aliens. We're aliens to people on Pluto. Just like if we seen somebody from Pluto walking down the street, we're like, hey, look at that alien. They're doing the same thing. We're floating in space too. They're like, hey, look at those Earthlings. So we're aliens to them. No, seriously. That's why you alien hate. Why you say illegal aliens? People know the hierarchy knows who we are. You got to get with what's real. All right, guys. Thank you.
Peace,
I hope you don't hold my lack of melanin against me.
Nah, man. But listen, we want to thank everybody, man, for coming out today. It was an interesting our session, man. Some positive things were said. We do want people to be able to get a party. That is one thing. Want people to be able to rectify their situation. Now, murder in some cases it may not be a lot of. I don't even know how they even pick and choose who gets it. That's confusing to me as well. That was one of the things, Benson. I didn't really understand. Who's picking these people for pardons? How does that come before the actual president?
That's what I was wondering.
How does that get on his desk? I got to look that up and find out. But on that note, listen, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, put your comments in the comment section, and definitely stay tuned, subscribe. Listen, we out. Peace.